track 3 then for you now. Hold Me Now, Thompson Twins. I remember my Uncle Frank, who was probably one of the oldest Thompson Twins fans I could imagine. He had a Thompson Twins cassette, which I was quite surprised about as a kid. But it was released in November 1983, the first single from their fourth studio album, Into the Gap, and it reached number 4. Their last studio album was released in 1991. Did you know that?
Wow, and is that the full original lineup of the three
Oh,
of them?
now you see, I'd have to check that. I'm not sure if they'd all parted ways on by then, or if it was 2 out of 3. I'm not sure.
As I've just alluded to, there was 3 of them in their heyday, which for the name the Thompson Twins, you'd kind of believe it would be 2. The name the Thompson Twins comes from Hergé's The Adventures of Tintin. There were 2 detectives in that, Thompson and Thompson, hence the Thompson Twins.
But it's a funny name though. Because for years I did think there was 2 in the band, and then you see the videos, you think, oh, there's 3 of them. Yeah.
And they're clearly not related.
No. Obviously they had a lot of success though, and Doctor Doctor, another of their great songs and things. I think we touched on it just earlier, but the MTV era certainly brought a lot of bands up in the spotlight, even with not a song that perhaps wasn't very good.
Yeah, I mean Duran Duran, they excelled with MTV and videos, and that really sort of pushed their fan base up. They'd had huge success in the early 80s, but yeah, as you say, Duran Duran, the video era just really made a difference. I'm not saying they didn't have good songs.
No, but a video can make all the difference.
Can't it? Michael Jackson famously spent, was it £1 million on the Thriller video? Which was around the time that MTV obviously started.
A massive long video as well, wasn't it? And it's like, I like Robert Palmer, but probably the song that I hate most is Addicted to Love. But yet, the video, iconic, with the singers in the background, and it got him, the spotlight, didn't it?
You name a video of Robert Palmer's, that's the one that everyone remembers.
Thinks. Absolutely.
Yeah. Interestingly, for the Thompson Twins, they would feature at Live Aid as well, but they were in Philadelphia.
Right.
They performed this song as one of their songs from the set. The other one was a cover of the Beatles' Revolution, and they had a couple of guest artists with them. One was Nile Rodgers from Chic, of course, and the other was the artist who was currently producing Madonna.
Now that's interesting.
Earlier on the day, they joined Madonna on stage along with Nile Rodgers to perform the track "Love Makes the World Go Round," which Madonna would then record as a solo track for her subsequent 1986 album True Blue.
Speaking of Live Aid, there is a brilliant official Live Aid channel on YouTube where they've started to put on legally the performances as best as they can from that day. There's a lot on there, and they still, when they can, add in material as well. Obviously, some artists are less inclined to let their performances from that day appear, but there's a lot on there. It's well worth a look. They've got the Philadelphia playlist, and they've got backstage stuff as well. So that's definitely worth a look.
I guess so many years has passed, haven't they, since Live Aid now, that it sort of changes things with copyright law. I mean, Queen have released theirs in numerous different places.
Yes.
So you can see the Queen set and hear the audio of the Queen set in various places.
Wasn't it Led Zeppelin that didn't? They said it didn't go too well. I think that's always been kind of admitted. I think, hasn't it?
I think so. I think Adam Ant came out poorly from that day as well, because he chose for his song he was going to play his forthcoming single rather than one of his successful hits from the early 80s.
And when it was released on DVD, I remember that artists could kind of pick and choose which songs they wanted to appear. So there was, for example, Status Quo. I think they might have played 3, but 1 got omitted, and there was a lot of that going on as well on the DVD. But anyway, this is Thompson Twins. Hold Me Now.